Hello again, Glitch Trooper here, and yeah, I'm going to be flying out and about because I have a very interesting discovery. Remember last time I was trying to figure out what all counted towards making it, by the way, that's kind of a weird realignment due to the events of me basically winning the game. So yeah. It turns out whenever you do that, new bases appear and they might just show up in weird locations, so stuff happens. But anyhow, as I was going to say, I made an interesting discovery. Remember how I was looking for... well, that one I can let show up. Remember how I was trying to figure out what materials counted? I found out Zanite worked, but then, of course, I had the idea of checking some other things from others that had storage blocks, and I've gotten some mixed results. But one thing that was a pleasant surprise is the storage blocks from fallen meteors works for beacon bases. So, if I grab myself all sorts of meteor chips, meteorite pieces and materials, not just the chips, but lots of them, like these meteor chips work in a way because they can be turned into meteorite, well, meteor ingots, and they will be able to be turned into a storage block that can actually work. Also, Kreknorite works, and I believe that the frozen iron works, but that won't net me any major difference because I'd still need iron, and I might as well use an iron block. So that's kind of, in terms of base materials, that's kind of an odd thing there. But basically, every time I find myself one of these meteors, I'm definitely going to be extracting it more completely because, remember, these turn into storage blocks. The storage blocks are what you use to make a beacon base. I heard that, and yet I could do nothing at the time. Well, might as well kind of just stop the holes. Yeah. But the thing is, it takes a good amount of these to make a block, and the block is used to make the beacon base. So if I want my humongous multiplex beacon, I'm going to have to get a ton of materials. So I managed to retrieve myself another one of these, and make sure that it was enchanted properly, because it's going to need a good amount. Well, sort of. It doesn't have Unbreaking 3, so it's not going to last forever. But it is going to... Dude, you're always in the weirdest places. Sometimes I wonder what's up with that companion. Like, all the time. Like, forget sometimes, I'm always wondering what's up with that companion. So, yeah, I need tons of materials, is what I'm saying here. And if I get them, however, I will thoroughly be able to generate my humongous beacon base that I wanted. Because I want it to be all out. And by all out, I mean like 5 beacons. Which, you know, that's all the beacons I've got. But more than that, it's kind of a way of getting an optimal setup is with 5 or so beacons. Preferably 5, because otherwise it starts looking a little weird whenever... It actually looks weirder whenever you're going even than whenever you're going odd. And it just looks better whenever you position it just right, and... You've seen my version of it before on a few series. It's one of my things that I declare that, yeah, I'm gonna pretty much have this conquered, or I have conquered it. So that's kind of one of my big indicators there. But yeah, the thing is, each of these meteor chips will in fact be able to be, well, smelted into a meteorite ingot, and those in turn will be able to be turned into the blocks. Now, the tools and the equipment that you get from it is actually pretty good anyhow, but this is mainly just about getting the ultimate beacon set up, and for that I'm going to need an absolute ton of stuff. I have processed pretty much all the iron I've got. I'm still getting some from my laser drill, but honestly, even though it gets an absolute, well, it gets a lot of it, but darn lips. Reset. It's overtime, is what I'm saying, and that can be a while. I have to wait on it, and it doesn't always give me iron. It gives me any kind of ore that's in the pack, there's a lot of ores in the pack. So even though I'm okay for iron, gold, diamond, emerald, he really, I thought he was, okay, so he must have switched games between Age of Mythology and it's called Hearts of Iron. I might look into that, because sometimes I'm curious. But anyhow, I can't change the fact that that gives me notifications for him playing the games, by the way. Because the thing is, well, it's not making a big sound or anything, so it's not like it's majorly surprising. And you know that I'm friends with Intermin of Doom, so it's it's not a big reveal. So, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying before, there are certain materials that normally work for a beacon base, and I could go into the ether and mine a ton of Zanite. It would be interesting work, because I'd have to fly around, and this would be, in fact, dude, remember, if you're in my way for some odd reason, they don't have like a friendly fire disabling option when it comes to companions. They really should. I don't know if that's a feature that they've got in later versions of Ether 2, but it's something that would be good to consider, that all those aligned with you from being like equipped as a companion will not count as being able to be hit by you. Because it's one thing for them to be hit by enemy attacks. I mean, they're not your faction, like they're not aligned with you. But it's another entirely whenever they're being hit by you and you're saying, hey, this one's an ally, please don't smack. I mean, I've got all sorts of things that theoretically could be selective, but it just doesn't want to count. Like, for example, when it comes to Slash Blade, it usually, by default, disables hurting anything considered a passive. I know that sound. There's a creeper somewhere, and it's dying. I don't know where it came from, or where it went. It might have been an alien creeper, because those are associated with these meteors. But usually they don't pop out of the blocks. They usually spawn with it in the first place. So I'm curious how that creeper showed up. Unless that was a snake. Because there was definitely hissing going on. Oh, what do you know? They can spawn from the blocks sometimes whenever you mine them. Huh. I have not had that happen before after the fact. Have I been that lucky this whole time until then? Well, anyhow, whenever you defeat them, you do get an extra special advantage sometimes. Because that's pretty much the, well, one of the ways of getting the special red meteor chips that are useful in doing some special crafting. Or red meteor gems, sorry. Don't worry, little snake, I'm not gonna crush you. I'm just mining here. Just mind your own hissness. Yeah, I went there. See, this is when it would be good to have magnetism. Yeah. Maybe I should actually mine this with an enhanced, meteor pickaxe, because they will attract it to you whenever you take them. This is why I like magnetism as a general property or enchantment of things, is it's really handy whenever you're mining. I mean, I could go back to base. I have the components of my full course meal with me, and okay. You know, this might be a situation I might want to try fighting one. Because if I do, if I can get him down just enough so that he doesn't really recover that well, it would be beautiful. Yoink. Gift. Ah, there's where the other one went. This ain't Slash Blade. Hi. Finally. I've already cut down some of his HP, so that'll make things easier. Well, time for part of my full course meal, because I think that if I remember right, this is a healing drink. If I don't defeat him too fast, then I get my stuff easier. There's an irony about hitting it too hard. Makes it where it might not give you your drop. And I want that block. Because I have to get him down so that he goes into a self-destruct mode. And not obliterate him too fast. Oh man, did it still not do it just right? Ah, so close to getting that block. It would have been beautiful if I'd got that block. I got a pair of pants, but I don't got the blocks. Like, seriously? Of course, my whole purpose here was trying to get a different kind of block. Well, at least it acts almost like it's Silk Touch. Whenever you beat them, you get the blocks completely as they were, including grass. Interesting little advantage of fighting one. Whenever you get their blocks departed from them, you will receive special bonuses. Okay, I was going to use that as healing ring, but I don't need the actual healing, so... Well, that does give me a special mining bonus, so next one I see... Oh, there it is. That's convenient. Wow, he got so whacked. Yeah, this gives me haste for a good period of time. It's a fresh one. I can tell it's fresh because he's burning, which means I get extra bonuses if I just dig fast. And with the haste bonus, that means this was perfect timing. Okay, buddy. I'm trying to get a beacon powered up. So you are in my way of awesome stuff. And after I get it powered up the way I want to, I'll power up more beacons because I want a full 5. And that's going to take slightly more stuff than what's required to power up 1, actually. Because if you do the arrangement just right, you can get 5 beacons sharing several of the same structures. Or parts of the structure is what I mean. Like, the inner pyramid will count towards them, and then there'll be like some outer blocks that you work out. Yeah, he's going back to ancient mythology, so he's definitely bouncing between them. Dude, stop being in the middle of my blocks. You will get pounded, whether I want to or not. Sometimes, I swear this little guy is a masochist. He's always just going in for it. It's like, hit me, please! And I'm like, this is a weirdo. I mean, again, friendly fire off, or at least give them the AI to actually avoid getting thwonked by you. It's just very... I mean, seriously. Dude. I swear, if they add that feature into vanilla Minecraft, because the head honcho of Ether is now working for them, And and I really, really hope that Mojang has more foresight with the idea of make this immune to friendly fire. Oh, hello. There appears to be an ogre. Totally not my problem, because I am smashing meteors. I got several stacks, but I need more stacks. Like, remember, you convert this 9 to 1, in terms of 9 of those to 1 block. So, I am not going to get that many stacks, and that's another fresh one. The fresher they are, the more you get. So that is a big deal. If you see it burning, it's the good ones. Because they'll award you more meteor. And since I found out that all... Wow, that was weird. I clipped through the snow block into the dirt block. I've done that a few times before, it's just always wacky. It's like, I slid perfectly this way. So, that was bizarre. I mean, it's always like, whoop! It's like, where'd I go? It's like, oh yeah, into a block. The ones with the special texture are even better to mine, by the way. I'm just going with what I can strike quickly. Because I could keep extracting these for quite some time. But now that that's been kind of well described as to what my intent is, make humongous beacons, including sharing part of their base with each other so that I can maximize having 5. There's reasons. Like, the way... Okay, here's how beacons work for those who haven't really beaconed before. Whenever you go up in tier by building a bigger beacon, it not only allows you more options, but whenever you get to the full power beacon, it allows you to upgrade the previous options, well, having like one upgraded form of them at a time for that beacon. Plus, there's the chance of instead using a different effect in the form of regeneration, which isn't really a directly available option unless you have a full-size beacon, and it's only a secondary effect, it's never primary. So you can't power up regeneration into a second tier of the effect. Only the primaries you can do that with. So it has a very particular way of doing things, and wow, I am loaded. Okay, I think I can keep extracting a little bit more, but not for much longer. Because I'm about loaded. Okay, I need to break that block. That wasn't it. Okay. That was not it. But yeah, this pickaxe has a lot of durability, and I got it enchanted up, so... It's one I've had before, I'm just giving it its last rites, so... Hopefully it can be the pick of destiny. Or rather, the pickaxe of destiny. It's that exact spot. Seriously. But anyhow, yeah, if I can let this help me out all the way, I'm gonna feel very good about it. Hello, snow. Your sudden crafting has helped me. How? I am cutting off... Okay, that one did a weird update, but I need to... The timing of that was hilarious. That still is not enough. But I think I spotted I had some dirt blocks. It's kind of a shame that this version doesn't have bone block storage for bone meal because I have an absolute ton of it. So, there's that. I could have used that to block off some of this. It would have been nice. For that matter, it would be interesting if they added like more storage blocks that you can make beacons out of from vanilla. Did I mention this thing does a ton of damage? I think I mentioned that before whenever I was going to try to experiment with using on the slider, but for some odd reason it's not registered right. despite the fact it just acts like a normal pickaxe. Which you'd think that that would be registered through how Forge handles tools, even in this version, which is how it's been done for quite some time, is saying this is officially a pickaxe, treated as such. But for some odd reason, it just never was registered correctly, so... Hey, come on, let me through. Tough flow in this area. Wow. I have a huge amount of meteor, but the question is, will this be anywhere near enough? But anyhow, how this came about is, I just kind of had a little thought going, you know, not all modders forget to register something as a beacon base, and some just love the idea specifically of having stuff used as a beacon base, because it means you can show off your grand collection of their blocks, and for that matter, their minerals. So, maybe, just because of how this one works, they might be one of those modders that's saying, yeah, show off my blocks in minerals, and just show your gigantic collection. I was right. They were. So, I started out with the fact that I had literally, like, about enough exactly of Kreknorite to form the blocks. And it's handled in a way very similar to meteorite. It's freezerite that's handled differently in terms of how you process it and how much eventually goes into making a block. Because, again, you have to process it by freezing iron using its freezer. And that means it's not exactly a direct conversion. But when it comes to Kreknorite, you do it by using a furnace or the equivalent to smelt it just like you do with these. And I had, like, literally just enough Kreknorite to do it. And I'm thinking, okay, I have exactly enough to do a perfectly even set of blocks. It wasn't just one block. It wasn't, like, it wasn't that kind of a perfect amount. It was actually more like making, like, 9 or 5 or 9 or so. So I got a decent amount converted out of it. And the fact is that I'm going, okay, it's just the fact that it's saying make blocks out of me. And I'm thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if these happen to also work for the beacon base? So I just tried doing how I did before and having a mix of blocks I knew worked, like iron, and put in the special block of Kreknorite right in the middle. And a few seconds later, it lit up like a Christmas tree, which is kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing this, or at least how my timing seems to be destined to happen, because this is being done around New Year's. So it's not exactly going to be fireworks, but it will be a light in the sky. So, close enough? Yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, the full build might actually be a little later. I don't know. It depends on how much I get. But I can teleport back pretty quickly now because I have relogged my location with my hammer. So that's a thing. I've pretty much extracted almost all of that meteor impact. And they are pretty frequent, so we'll see if I can find more. That looks kind of like one. I think that's the one I passed getting here, which is made out of obsidian rather... Yeah, that's made out of obsidian rather than the meteorite blocks. So, no meteor mining for me. I tried. Although, there's still the fact that I have these to get rid of. So, next meteor I find, if it's flooded, it's going to be unflooded mostly quickly. Okay, a friend of mine is now playing Gary's mod. At least I eliminated the annoying sounds that some of them were making. There's reasons why I try to time these things, and how I'm kind of careful about how I operate, so... What have we said about being in the way of me doing blocks? It's not a good idea there, Savior. Just saying. This is also another super fresh meteor. So, it's a good thing that whenever well, there's one thing that I had as an interesting foresight as well, and that was that if I saw one that was really fresh, but it was farther away from my base, like it was landing like right next to me or something, then what I could do is I could just get out very fast and let it basically just unload the chunk so that it would preserve its status, so that if I needed a lot later and like in massive bulk, that I could just refine the meteors I'd already seen. And the thing is, because they usually only show up within a certain distance of you, that means that you have definitely been in areas, because there's no meteorite strikes that happen whenever you're like nowhere near. Like it will always try to literally seek out players and go within a certain distance of them to strike. That is how it works. So because of that, you will always know you've been at least somewhere close by whenever you find one. Although that doesn't necessarily mean you've really explored the area. It just means that you've been at least decently close. You can actually go, I think, a little bit outside of loaded chunks. Oh no. Oh no. The nemesis of all items is here. It's a goat. I really hope whenever they add goats into vanilla, which I know they are going to do, because that's what's been promised for the mountain update, that they do not have that feature of having goats eat items that are all over the place. Because that is super annoying whenever they just consume everything that you're trying to do. But at least now he's distracted by other things to pick up, and I'll go ahead and let him. As long as he doesn't take my precious meteorite pieces, I won't whack the goat. If he does, like the instant he does, that goat is so meat. Or at least I hope he produces meat. Otherwise, he's just leather. Maybe I get goat wool? I don't know. But either way, whatever animal product he becomes, I will have. And will have no regrets because of him taking away my meteor pieces. I'd be like, no, 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 that was a precious resource. Even though there's a lot of it, it's still precious. Because this is going towards a beacon. Not everything goes towards a beacon. So therefore, this is precious. It's like a new meta of what you count as precious stuff. Is if it... Admittedly, that I don't need because I already have some. Is that if it doesn't go towards a beacon in its storage block, it's not considered super valuable. Because that's one thing that they use to determine whether or not it goes towards a beacon block. Is this a super valuable block that you'd have to really make an investment for in order to finish a beacon? Aha, he's nowhere near over here, so I'm good. He's distracted. Distracted goat. Cannot gloat when he eats my items. Wow, he was stuck in a block and I still managed to hit him. Haha, goat, you're nowhere near the good stuff. I'm taking it this time. Yeah, the enemy of all items is goats. Just know that. I mean, in real life, they do eat, like, everything. They have, like, no concern for whether or not something's edible. They just eat to eat. Like, if it's in front of their face, they'll eat it. It's a very bizarre thing about goats, and it's why they have this behavior in most creatures. Is because they will have no concern for whether or not they should eat something. They're just like, hey, look, something that fits in my mouth. Nom, 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 nom. And you're like, you do realize that was not supposed to be eaten because it was a bicycle tire. You know, I'm not even kidding. They will do stuff like that. They will eat things that are made out of stuff that should never be eaten by anything. Things of which you wouldn't even wish upon an enemy to be consumed, you know? It's like, hey, can you eat this horrible thing? A goat's always like, yes, I don't know what horrible tasting stuff is. I just eat everything in front of me because I have no sense of taste, and I have an armored digestive tract that means I can take in anything I wish. So you're like, world's least picky animal. Takes any bet when it comes to eating food. It's like, seriously? It's like goats just show off their stomach prowess all the time, but in the worst way possible. So, goat, I do solemnly swear, if you eat these meteorite pieces, you are a goner. Just plain and simple. Just such a goner. Okay. Okay, maybe if I get just a few more, I can just unload this area and leave this goat to his own devices. Because if I can get it to 45, that's a nice even multiplier of 9. What I mean by even multiplier isn't so much it's an even multiplier, but that it is one that transitions smoothly. There we go. Whew, okay, I have evaded the goat of item doom. Okay, oh dear. Oh, good place to park. Okay, I'm roosting now. We know the drill. It does not like me being morphed whenever I do this. Oops. Although to be perfectly fair, you kind of had it coming. Ah, better. Okay. Wow. Our transition. I will probably be smelting this stuff up for a very long time. So, there's that. Although I might put up part of my full course meal to have one of my alternates I'd been considering, actually. So let's not completely go into it. I mean, that was a pretty good run, and you know where I'm going with it. But let's put a couple things up here. I mean, it had the Explorer's Risotto. That was beautiful. But there is also this. Oh, it's specifically Skyroot buckets. Okay, well, actually I can do that. I'm pretty sure I got Skyroot wood around here somewhere. So, yeah. Question is, do I have enough? Hello? Let me... Oh yeah, that's right, I did unmorph. I had to. Okay, plantables. Do I have a Skyroot no, it'd be under trees and wood. Okay. Do I have... yes, I have a Skyroot sapling. A little bit of plankage. But I also need a little bit of this ether dirt back. Oh, I got an easy one right here. I'm trying to remember, can I bone meal this? Oh, only one way to find out. Especially when I do have an absolute ton of bone meal, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, so let's put you about here. Yep, good bone meals. But is there anything... Oh, there's nothing really in the way. Just need more bone. Give me some bone meal. I will make sure to produce the nice wood that I need. And then possibly get more sapling. Well, this is a little overkill, but whatever. About to get a interesting snack, actually. I'm about to receive some candy corn, actually. Oh, maybe I need to have more light around here. Yeah, let me wind up a spell for that. Okay, now are you ready? Maybe I need a little bit more light somewhere. But I don't think that's it. That's an insane amount of bone meal and no result. Does it absolutely have to be the ether? Because those plants are growing just fine. That's a weird delay. I guess it's because of the notifications. Huh. I don't know if I can get this to grow. Well, that might have actually tossed it back off. Maybe it'll grow on its own. I'm not entirely sure. I do know I need to cook up a lot of these, so I'll be back whenever that's over. Although for now, I suppose I can have a specific... Well, maybe I can have a... well... I do... I mean, this is almost there. I guess I could finish off with the lemonade just 'cause. But, yeah, I want to have my snack. Maybe I'll just nibble something else for a little while. Something else E3 to tide me over. No, wait. Hey, a cooked dinosaur. Yeah, I remember that coming from a present, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I guess I'll have myself a bit of cooked dinosaur. Not enough to tide me over until my next adventure? Okay, fair enough. Let me see here. Spider eye soup. Classic. And very saturating. Did that? Okay, that did not give me a bowl, so I'm good there. So I'll recharge completely, and we'll see how I can't actually eat the raspberry when full like the other berries. Really? That's interesting to note. I was gonna fill up my saturation, but apparently that's not gonna happen that way. Are these still cooling off? Maybe I'm ultra saturated right now, because admittedly a lot of Pam's food has an absurd level of saturation. So, that could be it. It could be I am truly completely full. And I'll leave that tree to its own devices for a while. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just put up my bone meal, and then I should be ready to log off, because I need to do a lot of smelting just to see if that's anywhere close to the amount of blocks I need, because as you know, it takes a ton of blocks to make a beacon, and it's kind of a little over... It's like somewhere over 3 stacks of blocks, and then I'll need even more to fan it out a bit to establish it for the other beacons. So that's all going to be a definite thing. So for now, I guess I'm going to be probably going back to mining and smelting for quite some time. Well, I guess that means I'm also logging off too for now, because that's going to take a lot of off-screen work again. But anyhow, there is kind of a bit of a closing thought here. After this, I'm still going to be doing something wacky-ish on Wednesday. I don't know if it'll be crazy. I don't know if it'll be anything related to Crazy Minecraft or the Realms of Atlantis' Void Launcher, but it will be something kind of wacky-ish. And I do have some different plans, so kind of look forward to a few very strange ideas possibly being passed around. Although one of the biggest one is basically going into 1.12.2 and going with the port of Divine RPG, as well as a lot of mods trying to do some very crazy things with it. So that could be fascinating, and I'm going to have a very happy time trying to break that. And yeah, this is going to be a purposeful break. In fact, even the name of the series will be Breaking Vethia, so there's a thought. But I don't know if I'll go into that one immediately, or if I have to keep tweaking, so it might be another series, just saying. But that is one that I definitely want to do, as long as I can. So just consider the fact that at some point in the future I will be attempting I'll be attempting very purposefully to horribly break Divine RPG. I mean, it used to be one of the big things, and I just want to show what happens whenever modern Minecraft meets it, and you get all sorts of interesting loopholes. Okay, for now, bye for now, everybody.